It's game night here at the Kohl Center in Madison, Wisconsin. It is conference play. Rutgers against Wisconsin. Game 2 on the conference schedule. I'm Brian Anderson with Stephen Bardo. They are ready to tip it here shortly. And Stephen, we are going to get a look at one of the nation's great players in Ethan Happ, and his versatility is why Wisconsin is where they are right now.
Oh, he does it in all facets. You know he can dribble, drive, puts it on the deck at 6'10". You know he can really post up. He's got some of the best footwork in all of college basketball. But Brian, the most underrated part of his game, in my opinion, is his ability to set up his teammates. 5.3 assists per game. One of the best passing big men in the nation.
Rewriting the Wisconsin program record books. Rutgers comes to town now, Stephen, with some weapons this year. Steve Pikiell has a team that can not only hang with some of the best in the Big Ten, they're expected to win some games here this season.
Oh, yeah. Gio Baker's the real deal, guard for Rutgers. But the guy I want you to pay attention to, Eugene Omoruyi, great defender, has drawn 9 charges this year. So Wisconsin fans used to seeing Brad Davison do some of that. Eugene Omoruyi can do the same thing.
Much improved three-point shooter. Did not make a three-pointer in his first 2 years at Rutgers. He has hit 10 of them already this year, and a terrific defender as well. And the stage is all set. We're ready to play ball tonight at the Kohl Center in Madison. Big crowd on hand. They will announce a sellout once again. And the Wisconsin Badgers at 7-1, ranked 12th in the country. Ethan Happ, 3 times the Big Ten Player of the Week, will jump tip. And Shaquille Dorson and Ethan Happ, and it's controlled by Rutgers, and away we go. Great to have you with us tonight on BTN. Rutgers at 5-2 this year. 0-1 in conference play. They lost against Michigan State on Friday, and already it looked like Gio Baker took a shot and immediately goes down, and he's calling for the bench. Or now he's waving off the bench.
Yeah, here's a collision between he and Khalil Iverson in the exchange over there. So he got, okay. Yeah, that's gonna hurt a little bit. Take his wind away a little bit. Got hit in the midsection. He'll be okay.
Well, he initially called for the bench for a replacement and then thought about it for a moment. Looked like he's grabbing at his stomach there. Shouldn't be long. No. Hopefully we'll see him back on the floor. He's a dynamic player, dynamic scorer. So in his stead, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights go at Caleb McConnell. They got a lot of freshmen. It is Chom who gets the scoring started for us here tonight.
I'm going to tell you something, Brian. I think Issa Chom could do a lot more of that for Rutgers. It's all about confidence for him at 6'10", tallest 2 guard in the nation.
Issa Chom averaging just shy of 9 points per game. Here's Reavers. Nate Reavers. And up and over the big man, Shaquille Dorson. And Wisconsin's scoring starts with Reavers, who is a player that is going to develop into a much bigger role without Ethan Happ in years to come. Right now, a heck of a complimentary player to Happ. Kiss with the 3. His first opportunity goes down.
It's a good start for Rutgers. You always want to get in the Kohl Center and get off to a quick start. Wisconsin gets in rhythm here awfully quickly.
Well, Wisconsin has won 7 of their 8 games. Their lone loss against Virginia in the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Brad Davison's first shot attempt is good. Wisconsin right now ranked 12th in the AP poll, one of 7 Big Ten teams in the top 25. They have a net rating, the new rating system. They are in at 6 to start play today. And a huge win on Friday in Iowa City against the Hawkeyes. And Stephen, you were there to call that game, and an impressive comeback win for the Badgers. Here's Kiss, little turnaround, and he scores over Davidson.
Yes, it was, and Wisconsin didn't flinch. Got down by 8 in the second half. The Carver Hawkeye Arena sounded like the old school Carver Hawkeye Arena. Wisconsin made the plays they needed to.
Both of these teams with a heavy offensive set. Steve Pikiell trying to organize his defense. Wisconsin never afraid to get deep in a shot clock. And here's Trice. And Trice off the window. What a year he is having this year.
And that was a degree of difficulty at 9.9 on that shot. Goes off the wrong foot, off the glass with a defender in his face.
McConnell, early entry into this game with Geo Baker out. McConnell here, the freshman, had some good minutes against Michigan State. He can shoot a little. I think Reavers might have got a piece of that. Saved underneath. Here comes Trice and the Badgers. Rutgers gets back well. Both of these teams emphasizing getting back in transition. And it's one and done for Wisconsin.
Well, you see, Omoruyi needs to get involved on the offensive end.
Peter Kiss, and a little runner is good, and count the basket, and one. And actually waving off the basket. So it'll be side out. Baker back on the floor. And there is Steve Pikiell. He's done a great job. You know, you start looking at this Rutgers program here after 11 years at Stony Brook. This is year 3 for Pikiell, and he's kind of got his pieces in place now. He
does. And he's got some good young talent like this young man here. You would know it by the air ball. Somebody opened up the gate on him. But Geo Baker, Omoruyi, Johnson, Issa Chom, Peter Kiss. These are players that really have bought into this system, and you could tell there's great chemistry on his team.
Kiss never afraid. Kiss a transfer from Quinnipiac. So he's one of the few veteran players, experienced players on this Rutgers team. Been a tough stretch for them over the last 6 days, but they had a key win on the road against Miami. And they're hoping to build off that. They lost to Michigan State last Friday, and now a matchup with the Badgers on the road here on a Monday. And there's a nice friendly roll on the English from Geo Baker, his first points of the night.
Well, we've seen some guards, Trice first, and then Baker going to the hole with some unorthodox looks, but get him to drop.
Omoruyi checking a lean forward. Here's Iverson now. Happ. Little jump hook, back iron, and the rebound pulled down by Miles Johnson, another of the freshmen, typically the first off the bench on the floor. And it is a wave of freshman talent for Steve Pikiell this year that has Rutgers so optimistic. Omoruyi comes up short.
Oh, they miss Happ. He had good position there on Johnson. Got to take advantage of that matchup.
Here's a lean forward, gives it up. Pritzl back to Happ. Ball's moving well. Now Happ goes. And a charge is called. Offensive foul will send it the other way. And that's got the Boo Birds out early. Omoruyi right on call with the charge.
Geo Baker, old school YMCA, one hand, knee pads and all. Excellent job getting Rutgers off to a quick start.
Rutgers will have the ball in a 9-6 lead. Brian Anderson with Stephen Bardo. Great to have you with us tonight. And Rutgers, you know, this is a team that is going to surprise some teams in the Big Ten this year. They're off to a good start here in Madison.
And they did exactly what they needed to, Brian, to get started. They forced 2 turnovers on Wisconsin. They've taken care of the basketball. Peter Kiss has got them going offensively 2 or 3 from the field. So if you could script it, I'm not sure it could be any better thus far.
Geo Baker back running the point now and a turnover. That has been one of the areas of concern for Steve Pikiell. High turnover team, poor free throw shooting team in the early going, but they're doing a lot of things well. And this wave of young Scarlet Knights, a number of talented freshmen, has given them a lot of depth, more depth than they have certainly had in the Pikiell era in his 3rd year now.
I would agree with that. Geo Baker's going to need to get spelled a little bit. One of the tops in Big Ten's minutes played already.
Iverson runs into a wall in Johnson and hits the deck. That'll be a foul on Rutgers. Miles Johnson picks up his first foul.
Iverson was fortunate there, Brian. That looked like he was off balance. And Terry Oglesby made the call, but Iverson could have easily been called for the travel there.
Kobe King on the floor for Iverson now. So King will join Pritzl, Reavers, and a lean forward. Trice, the point guard. Most of the scoring so far this year from the Badgers coming from Trice and Ethan Happ, both averaging around 17.5 points per game, both tied at 8th best in the Big Ten. Reavers and did not get it off, a shot clock violation. So Greg Gard, a little frustration early in this one. 3 turnovers for the Badgers already. He was not pleased with that call on Ethan Happ, the charge call prior to the last timeout. Figures to be a story. Not always we're diving into a game when we're looking at charges, but with Davison and Omoruyi, both have made it an art.
Yes, they have, and it's so critical in a league like the Big Ten where possessions are critical. You can get your team extra possessions from the defensive end. That's a plus.
Here's Baker with a pull-up. Hits the 3. Geo Baker gives him 14.5 a game. He's nearly 5 assists per game and shooting 45% from behind the 3-point line.
Oh, boy. Hey, Reavers getting low.
And he's fouled. Count the basket. Reavers scoring over Shaq Dorson. And a chance at a 3-point trip down the floor for Wisconsin.
Watch the 6'11 Reavers. Didn't see it earlier, but he got so low, Brian, established the paint. Was it right there? Gets in great position because he's able to lower his center of gravity and move his defender.
And Ethan Happ will return. Reavers will sit. Happ gave him a big hand, a big pat on the back. And good minutes. Gets a nice ovation from this sellout crowd here at the Kohl Center. Nate Reavers, the sophomore, will sit.
Reavers struggled at Iowa mightily with foul trouble. He needs to get going.
Baker on the take, finishes with the left hand. He can shoot it from behind the arc. He's got a quick step and is comfortable driving to the basket. Davison running the point now is fouled by the freshman Montez Mathis.
Baker going hard, creating space, going with the left hand at the rim. Really no shot blocker in play. Excellent read by Geo Baker.
Played the 2-guard last year with Corey Sanders as the primary point guard. Sanders now gone from the program. That moves Baker into that lead guard position, and at 6'4", he is a taller point guard in this league.
Looking like Happ wanting to go one-on-one. If Rutgers is not going to dig, that's going to be a long night for them.
Offensive board by Kobe King after the miss from Ford. Second chance opportunity here for Wisconsin. Happ checked by Dorson. There's Happ, had it blocked. Dorson is a big body down there. Shaquille Dorson at 6'11", the senior from the Netherlands. Rutgers gives it right back.
And Omoruyi had the right idea, but you want to throw it high to the big man. In traffic, they can't catch those bounce passes.
Happ dribbles all the way down, gets the friendly bounce and scores it. It's not the prettiest, it's not the most fluid, but it is effective. It's almost like a bit of a change-up game that he has. As soon as you think he's ready to dish it back out or get into the offensive set, he scores. Missed badly did Baker. He's looking at his hand. Maybe it slipped in his hand.
No, it's just an air ball, Brian. You know how those guys,
cold.
Yeah, these guys always look at their hand like something's wrong. Just shot an air ball.
Badgers go inverted with Pritzel in the paint. He is fouled.
Well, I'm thinking that Rutgers needs to go and double team Ethan Happ, but they've got enough bigs that can really bother Happ or just make him finish over the top. I think Steve Michael's okay with that bucket right there.
Now Montez Mathis picked up his second foul. He goes to the bench with Shaquille Dorson. Lisa Chom back on the floor. A wide open lane for Ethan Happ. Dribbled himself free and scores again.
And see Ethan Happ, when Omoruyi switched over on him, he wasted no time. Went hard left, got past Omoruyi for the finish.
Rutgers going small here. Shaq Carter, his first run. He's a big man in the paint for Rutgers that hasn't been in the regular rotation, especially in the non-conference, but with all these bigs in the Big Ten, he figures to play more now. Omoruyi taking on Davison, shoots right over him, and that is a foul on Rutgers, and they'll get Carter and it's Wisconsin ball. 14-13. We're off and running in the first half. It's Big Ten Conference play on BTN.
Welcome back to the Kohl Center, where Rutgers holding on to a 1-point lead because of plays like this. Old school finger roll. Geo Baker rockets the defender to sleep and hit the tray, and that sets up this drive to the rim. Davidson has to respect his outside shooting ability. Excellent job by Baker.
Very efficient to start. 7 points, just 6 minutes now. He missed essentially the first 2 minutes. He was injured on the very first possession of the game. He took a shot to the sternum, it looked like, and he sat, came back. He is a handful, and the ball will be in his hands on most possessions. Wisconsin ball here. Chance for the Badgers to take the lead. Good start for Rutgers. Trice and Davison on the floor together now with Pritzel, Iverson, and Happ.
Well, Omoruyi is working extremely hard to deny Ethan Happ the rock.
And here's Trice now with the shot clock at 5. Happ tries to keep it alive. Carter and Happ come together. Last touch by Ethan Happ. That'll be Rutgers ball. Just under 11 minutes to go in this first half. Game number 2 of the conference schedule here in week 4. The 20-game conference schedule in the Big Ten. It has certainly allowed the Big Ten to grab some of the early headlines in college basketball. I'm not sure the coaches are too eager to get involved in conference play a month into the season, but it's been great for us. Nice reverse at the rim as Shaq Carter scores.
Carter and Kiss on the two-man game there. Those type of opportunities for Rutgers, they are getting to the rim pretty much when they want to, Brian.
Carter had a basket in just 3 minutes against Michigan State. Figures to play a lot more tonight. Chom trying to check Iverson. Nice pass. Here's Pritzel for 3. And Chom with the board.
You know that Rutgers is going to play solid defense, trying to limit Wisconsin to 1 shot attempt per possession. They're doing a fantastic job here in the first half.
Issa Chom, that was deflected by Pritzel. Puts Wisconsin in transition now. Trice will let Happ get posted. He's got a mismatch if he wants it. Got Baker on him, but they can't get him the ball. All the way across court. Trice. Now he gets it to Happ, and Baker just fighting for his life in the paint with Ethan Happ. Draws the foul.
Well, Baker, knowing that he's mismatched in this situation, is trying to front every time and then tries to come in for the steal on the backside. But you get a sense of how Rutgers is trying to guard Ethan Happ, trying to deny him the basketball, and sometimes total front.
Rutgers, a top 10 scoring defensive team. They are top 20 in the nation in defensive rating coming into this week. They've got plenty of length. Trice pulls it with 4 on the shot clock and buries it. What a stroke he has, shooting the lights out. One of the more efficient scorers in the nation right now.
And he loves that right elbow wing area to pull up.
Baker with an answer on the other end. Little fadeaway jump shot. He's got his full game on display here tonight. He's hit a 3. He's had a couple of takes to the rim and a nice little mid-range jumper there.
I tell you what, Steve Pikiell's going to maybe hire somebody to get him in his gut to start the game again, because ever since then, he's been playing.
By the way, that call on the floor was a 3 with Baker's. It's certainly a 2. It looked like a foot was on the line. They'll check it when we get a stoppage here. Omoruyi all the way in. And in there. Speaking of Trice, I should say, not Baker. The Trice long 2-pointer called a 3.
Well, Wisconsin fans not quite knowing what to make of what's going on right now. They're a little subdued based on the way that Rutgers is playing.
Iverson had it partially deflected by Omoruyi. We're spring-loaded in the paint and able to just get enough. Baker with Iverson on him. Peter Kiss looking inside. Omoruyi all the way in, scores again. And Greg Gard wants a timeout. 22-16. Rutgers on top. playing well on the road. Remember, this is a team that has won on the road. They beat Miami on the road. Nice little two-man game with Kiss and Omoruyi and Rutgers. They're real this year, folks. Men's basketball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. On a cold Monday night, Madison, Wisconsin. Rutgers on top 22-15. Went to break. It was 22-16 because this try shot was called a 3 initially. Clearly a 2, though, on the line. So the score is accurate. And we play on Wisconsin ball. Could be a bit of a trap scenario for Wisconsin here. They have one of their in-state rivals coming up Saturday, and it's a turnover for the Badgers. Wisconsin and Marquette play Saturday. You've got Rutgers at home. It's been a furious schedule through the month of November. Now they turn the calendar to December, and Rutgers has some weapons.
And you talked about it, Brian. They've got depth, and they've been able to utilize some of that here in the first half.
Baker lost the handle, got it back, and it's Reavers who rips down the board.
Well, Rutgers still 10 of 17 from the field. So they are really at a high efficiency rate thus far.
Reavers, and working inside, is fouled again. That's foul number 2 on Shaq Carter. And Reavers exploiting the matchup, the freshman on the floor. So Reavers back on the floor and back at the free throw line. Nate Reavers averaging 6.5 a game. He's 7 for 10 from the free throw line coming into play here tonight. This is the first chance. A reminder, you're watching Tip-Off Week presented by U.S. Cellular. Don't miss any of the action through December 6th right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Well, correct guard in the Badgers, and playing their first home game in conference play, and Reavers misses them both.
And Wisconsin needs something to wake them up. They look lethargic. They don't look like they're locked in right now, and Rutgers is taking advantage of it.
Here's Baker with Ford on him, and Baker goes to the hole. And it's going to be an offensive foul. I agree with that call, actually. No basket. Watch the left hand grab the jersey of Ford, and that's what they got.
What they were talking about, though, Geo Baker was saying the first initial bump, it looked like a lean forward, got away with one, but it's usually the retaliation is what the officials pick up on.
Eric Curry just walked right in front of us, was yelling across. He was holding the jersey, yelling across the floor to Steve Peichel. One and done for the Badgers. Scarlet Knights, chance to add to their lead here, up 7. Caleb McConnell on the floor. Got some early minutes as Baker went down. McConnell will run the point with Baker on the bench. Here's Kiss. Long 3, no. And that'll be check it, Wisconsin ball. Last touch by Omoruyi.
Omoruyi is getting upset because he had a mismatch with Trice on the block. His teammates didn't see it. Kiss takes a contested 3-point shot. Those aren't the type of decisions that got Rutgers this lead. They need to be more aware of where Omoruyi is and let him work.
Here's Happ with Omoruyi on him. Reavers, he can shoot it from behind the arc. Inverted with Davison. Down on the block with Kiss. Davison so strong under there, and crafty. Happ battling with Omoruyi, and it's Omoruyi with a board, and he clocks Davison. Here's McConnell just inside the 3-point arc. Yes.
And you saw Omoruyi check on Davison because there was an exchange there, but nothing intentional. I like the fact that they play on.
It's an 8-0 Rutgers run. Wisconsin has not scored since the 9:26 mark. It has been a drought for the Badgers. Excellent defense for Rutgers. Here's Kobe King, and he finally gets Wisconsin back on the board.
Kobe King, I would expect him to really start to make strides throughout the season. He was really playing well before he got hurt last season in his freshman campaign.
Wicked injury, too. Fractured kneecap. Cost him the rest of the year. Plays as a freshman this year, redshirt. Omoruyi with Happ on him. Omoruyi can draw some fouls as well. Happ pulls down the board. Reavers kept it alive. Here's Happ. Excellent ball handling skills for a big man. Tell you, Rutgers has gotten back in transition every time. Omoruyi took a shot.
Ethan Happ.
Here's Davison. No. Omoruyi's hurting. And he's got some blood.
Oh, my goodness. I'm surprised the Rutgers staff isn't asking the officials to look at this. Watch this. I mean, that's in the day of freedom of movement. Now, I think his feet got a little caught up there, but, man, he took a shot. And still trying to shake it off.
Physical matchup here tonight. Just what you'd expect in the Big Ten.
No doubt about it.
McConnell gives it up. Another of the freshman, Miles Johnson, and this is Kiss now. And Kiss cannot get the bounce. Trice with the freshman on him, McConnell. Crafty dribbler. Looking for Happ, and the pass too hot. And the right idea, but another turnover for Wisconsin. That is 5 turnovers for the Badgers. It is the Scarlet Knights out early in Madison. Wisconsin is off to a 7-1 start. Has been their backcourt. Dimitri Trice missing the last 23 games last year with the foot injury. Kobe King had the knee injury. And Davison, Stephen, last year played with a shoulder harness on his left shoulder. All 3 of these guys are back. They're all healthy, and it's paid off.
Oh, it's been huge because they're one of the top three-point shooting teams in the Big Ten. The big reason for that is those 3 guys, in particular Dimitri Trice, who's been lights out.
Well, the Badgers are a little shorthanded in their backcourt as they are without Trevor Anderson. Ty Strickland is on the floor for Wisconsin, 13 in white, the son of Rod Strickland. So you got a couple of sons of former NBA players in this matchup tonight. Ron Harper Jr. plays for Rutgers. And underneath, a foul on Rutgers. Peter, check it. It's going to be McConnell with the elbow on Strickland. So there is Trevor Anderson. Had an MRI today. A knee injury in the Iowa game. So disappointing for him. Still awaiting on the final result there. But for a guy who redshirted all last year, transferring from Green Bay, played his high school ball at Stevens Point with the Hauser brothers from Marquette. So frustrating for him not to be able to participate tonight.
Yeah, and he had a really good second half against NC State here when the Badgers were struggling. He gave them some really positive minutes. And then the bucket he made at Iowa, he was starting to come on there. And that very play, he hurt his knee.
Here's Kobe King. Set up by Strickland. King can't hit the jumper. Rutgers sitting on 9 fouls. Both teams in the bonus here. And each heading into the double bonus with the next Rutgers foul. 24-17 under 3 minutes to go. Shaq Carter scores and is fouled. A chance at a 3-point play for Rutgers.
I'm sure Steve Pikiell was in the huddle telling his players, look inside. They've been missing Omoruyi. Finally, they find Shaq Carter with the opportunity for an old school 3-point play.
Foul on Strickland, and a quick run for Ty Strickland. He's headed back to the bench, and here is Carter. Shaq Carter, first free throw of the year. They'll stick around. The State Farm halftime report. Rick Pizzo, John Crispin, Mike DeCourcy. They'll break down the first half, recap the top 20 matchup between the Spartans and the Hawkeyes. All of that and more coming up on the State Farm halftime report. 10-point Rutgers lead. Wisconsin searching for answers. Here's Happ, little turnaround. That's an answer.
Well, Easton Chom is willing, but just doesn't have the physical strength nor the size to keep Ethan Happ away from point-blank range.
Rutgers getting excellent minutes tonight from Shaq Carter. Omoruyi with Pritzl on him. Happ comes over to help. Now Omoruyi, patient, comes up short. And Pritzl with the board. Approaching the 2-minute mark of this first half. Conference game number 2. Wisconsin beating Iowa on the road Friday. Rutgers losing to Michigan State at home at the RAC last Friday as well. Happ again dumps it down, and Iverson can't handle it. Deflected by Omoruyi. That'll stay in the possession of the Badgers.
Boy, it's just such a tall task to try to contain an Ethan Happ. Well, he can put it on and back you down in the paint. He's so good at finding teammates. He's so good at creating space. But Rutgers has been pretty good here in the first half of limiting his opportunity.
As Rutgers has packed it in the paint, Wisconsin has not been able to connect from 3. They are 0 for 5 thus far from behind the arc. Shot clock in single digits again. Here's Davison on the attack. Davison with the scoop.
Nice recognition by Brad Davison, understanding that Peter Kiss was standing straight up, was able to blow by him to the rim.
Minute and a half left in the first half. Kiss inside. Nice catch. Shaq Carter finishes.
That's an excellent pass by Peter Kiss. I didn't think he's going to be able to catch Carter rolling to the bucket. But Rutgers has answered every time that Wisconsin hits a big bucket. They've got an answer.
Here's Pritzl for 3. He got it. Makes it a 5-point game. Steve Pikiell with a timeout. It'll be Rutgers ball under a minute to go in this first half. And now let's take a look at this message from ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire, and the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference.
Are hiring delays causing work to pile up? That's not smart. Then there's smart. ZipRecruiter finds people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job and actively invites them to apply, so you get qualified candidates fast. That's why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. ZipRecruiter, the official hiring partner of the Big Ten Conference. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/Big Ten.
We are underway week 4 of this college basketball season, and conference game number 2 is Rutgers. A 5-point lead over Wisconsin. It'll be Rutgers ball here. Under a minute to go in the first half.
And you want to be careful if you're Rutgers. You want to have good possessions here because they've really held Wisconsin down for most of the first half.
Peter Kiss, a little mid-range jumper is good. He's got 7. Shaq Carter has 7. Shaq Carter had never scored more than 2 points in a game so far this year for Rutgers, but he's on the board with 7, giving him some excellent minutes. Happ, Omoruyi is on him. And right over the top, no. Happ gets his own. Happ inside, little jump hook with the right hand is good.
Wow, just could not keep him on off of the offensive glass. Nice pursuit of the rock by Ethan Happ.
8 points for Ethan Happ. Shot clock off, and Trice with the foul to give there.
So if I'm Rutgers right now, I throw the ball at the rim. If they throw it out here on the perimeter, Wisconsin has a chance to foul them once again.
And Steve Pikiell will get Geo Baker on the floor. He'll be the inbounder. It's certainly the player who Pikiell wants to have the ball in his hands here at the end of a half. Omoruyi. And he'll fire a long 3. And that's how the first half comes to an end. Impressive showing by Rutgers. The Scarlet Knights with a 5-point lead. Shaq Carter, a strong showing in this first half with 7 points. Stick around. State Farm halftime report. Rick, John, and Mike will have the breakdown for you. Check in on that Michigan State-Iowa game as well. That's all coming up here on BTN with Rutgers on top by 5. Half number 2, Rutgers on top of Wisconsin by 5. And the Scarlet Knights looking for their first win in conference play. Brian Anderson with Stephen Bardo. And how about the Scarlet Knights getting production from a couple of guys that maybe you weren't expecting coming into this game?
Yeah, you're talking about Peter Kiss and Shaq Carter. Nice alliteration there. These guys have really given a nice offensive boost to the Scarlet Knights. 6 of 9 from the field. Peter Kiss gets it started. Is aggressive in the paint, mixing his game up, and then Shaq Carter showing you that size that he can wield in the paint. Nice up and under right there. Could have had and one opportunity.
Shaq Carter, 7 points in 9 minutes. Junior college transfer out of Eastern Florida State College. And Peter Kiss, of course, will put a first possession of the second half. And Wisconsin gets a 2 from Khalil Iverson.
And that was interesting. You usually would go to Hap to start the half to try to get him going, but they want to get some production out of Khalil Iverson. Nice play out of the halftime break.
Wisconsin with 12 field goals in the first half without an assist. There's a steal by Iverson. He's got the hops, and Iverson with the lay-in. Omoruyi was giving chase. Iverson turning defense into offense. It's a 1-point game, and Steve Pikiell calls a quick timeout. Khalil Iverson scores the first basket of the half, the pick, and the 2 at the other end. Timeout. 4 points to start this second half. And a quick timeout by Steve Pikiell. Khalil Iverson has both baskets. Remember, Rutgers had a 10-point lead with 2:57 left in the first half. Wisconsin on a 13-4 run since. That was the largest lead for Rutgers, up to double digits. The Badgers have made 6 of their last 7 field goals.
So you got to look at Omoruyi or Baker this time down if you're Rutgers.
Baker looking inside. Shaquille Dorson from the Netherlands, matched up by Reavers. Dorson, little spin with the left hand. A good bank shot for Dorson.
See, Rutgers is one of the few teams in the Big Ten that have a plethora of bigs that you could go to on the blocks based on the matchup situation. That's why Shaq Carter got so much time in the first half.
Here's Ethan Happ working on Omoruyi. Mismatch inside. Happ has 10 now. And the Badgers are back within 1. Geo Baker on the drive. No, looked like Reavers certainly affected the shot. Happ comes away from the pack. Here's Davison. Again, Omoruyi on Happ. Davison passes up a 3. 2-man game with those two. Now Reavers. And Trice will get it organized. Shot clock to 11. Happ kicks it. Reavers fires. Got it.
Boy, you got to pick your poison against the Badgers. You can cut down dribble penetration and give up the 3, and that's what happens.
Wisconsin on top. That's an 18-6 run to take the lead. And Omoruyi on the other end. Happ went down, and Omoruyi had wide open spaces. I like that these officials are letting him play. There's a couple of teams there trying to draw some charges. There was a charge early. Trice, no, had that one blocked by Dorson. And that'll be Rutgers ball. In the game for Rutgers is the freshman Ron Harper Jr. This collection of freshmen here, Miles Johnson and Montez Mathis, who's been in foul trouble tonight. Ron Harper Jr., Caleb McConnell. It's a reason Steve Pikiell and this program has hope, because they have depth. This is the kind of game and the point in the game when their freshmen can hold serve.
I agree. And, you know, in the rigors of a 20-game Big Ten schedule, depth is incredibly important now.
Shot clock down to 5. Here's Harper. Davison in transition. And Iverson will peel it back. Rutgers has been terrific all night getting back in defensive transition. Reavers again. No, passed it up. Shot fake. Oh, and then couldn't get his feet organized. Now it's Happ inside on Dorson. The little scoop not there, and it's Kiss with the board.
Wow, excellent box out by Peter Kiss. Kept Iverson off the offensive glass.
Kiss on the drive. Had that one blocked by Reavers. This crowd imploring Reavers to take the shot. Passed one up last possession, too. He was wide open.
But this crowd doesn't know how great guard is. Reavers does.
And there's a foul. Happ scores. Dorson with the hack. And one for Ethan Happ. He's got 12. Wisconsin back on top.
Not much defense for this. Happ does this to everybody. Up and under, step through. Got some of that Kevin McHale footwork.
So skilled, all facets of the game. Dorson will sit with 2 fouls. Montez Mathis is coming back in as well. Shaq Carter back on the floor. So Mathis will take over for Kiss. There's Dorson on the bench. And Happ a chance to make it a 3-point trip. Happ spent so much time today working on his free throws. He must have taken 1,000 shots just by himself from around the perimeter in the mid-range and free throws. He was the first one here today and the last one to leave.
That's why he's one of the best players in the country.
He knows it is a deficiency from the line. Baker and Carter knocks it out of bounds. Wisconsin ball. So this afternoon is Ethan Happ. Shoots a ton of free throws. He can't get this one. 37-35, Wisconsin by 2. Timeout on the floor. Come down to free throws. Ethan Happ, it's not that he's not putting in the work, Stephen, but he's having a rough time at the line. This was earlier today.
Yeah, but what I'm encouraged by is his form is so much better than it was in previous seasons. And the continued work, it will pay off because his stroke looks a lot smoother than it has in the past.
First one in the gym today at 10 a.m. Stopped down for a couple hours for the shoot around for Rutgers, and then it was the last one to leave. He's shooting just 46% from the line this season. 56% free throw shooter in his career. Keep an eye on it as we head down the stretch. Half check by the freshman, Miles Johnson. Gives it up, Ford. And the three-pointer is short. Pritzel the board. Pritzel, ball fake.
Well, he's really giving good minutes. Reverend Pritzel continuing the hot hand that he had in Iowa last game. That offensive rebounding and putback, that's key.
Greg Gard is unafraid to have Pritzel down underneath or guard a big. Here's Harper for 3. Good look, but a bad miss. Right on line, too strong. Harper showing some freshman blues here. He's averaging nearly 6 a game. He is now 3 for 22 for the year from behind the arc.
So that's an indication that maybe he needs to get inside the arc.
Here's Happ with the left hand. Baker the board. Baker wants to run it. Baker's got Harper on the wing. Harper, a little mid-range, inside the arc.
There you
Rounds
go.
it home.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers don't lie. You know, when you're a freshman, you want to do certain things, but this level will teach you that you've got to adjust.
Son of 5-time NBA champion Ron Harper, and there's Happ on the other end with an answer. Goes to the reverse. So much in the toolbox for Ethan Happ.
And he's a lot quicker than you anticipate. Talking about Ethan Happ. You think you're in good position, excuse me, Brian. And all of a sudden, he just bursts past Johnson. It's right to the rim. And he uses that reverse as well as anybody in the country.
Well, he can attack like a guard. He's got the handles of a guard as well. Certainly very good ball skills as a big man. They got Trice for that last foul. Here's Shaq Carter. 7 points in the first half, a career best. He's got 9 now.
Wow, Shaq Carter, that was big boy basketball. He just said, you know what, Nate Reavers, take this with you. Just dribbled him right to the rim.
Baker jumps the passing lane. Pritzel gets it back. Pritzel doing all the little things this year, not just a three-point shooting weapon, which he still is. Excellent on the defensive end. Here's Trice now. Ford with the shot clock at 3. And another chance for Wisconsin. Reavers pulls down the board. He's working on Carter. Reavers, yes.
I like what Nate Reavers is doing in the post here in this game. Second time he's really crouched low, get his center of gravity down to get where he wants.
Mathis dumps it down, and losing the handle is Omoruyi. They get it back. Shot clock at 12 now. And Baker pull up, miss badly. Kobe King with the rebound. One thing you see, and if you've been watching this Wisconsin program long enough, you see the transition, the evolution from Frank Kaminsky to Ethan Happ to Nate Reavers, passing down the culture of big man play here at Wisconsin.
Watch how low Nate Reavers gets. And he's able to crab dribble in the paint and then collect himself and explode up. Really showing improved fundamentals in his offensive output.
Well, foul trouble here for Rutgers as Geo Baker will go to the bench with 3 fouls. Baker averaging 14.5 a game, their second best scorer. Reavers down inside, had it stripped away. Shot clock at 15, Wisconsin ball. Rutgers had a 10-point lead late in the first half. Wisconsin got on a run to finish the half, kept that run going here to start this second half, and now they're up 4 with the ball. Kobe King able to push it home. He lost the handle, but able to get the friendly roll, and Kobe King back on the board, has 4 points. A couple of rebounds to go with it.
Danger zone if you're Rutgers right here. You need a high-quality shot. That's not it.
McConnell, the freshman, ran into a wall and a lean forward. Kobe King wants to push. Rutgers again gets back. King on the drive, had it stripped away by Kiss. Now Rutgers in transition. Kiss all the way in. Finger roll is good.
Wow, Peter Kiss coming up with a steal and having the presence of mind. Nobody picked up the basketball, so go to the rim. 9
points for Peter Kiss. Kiss averaging just shy of 10 a game. Ty Strickland pulled up. Omoruyi gets the ball on the rebound and a travel. That was Strickland who forced that walk. Wisconsin ball when we come back. 45-41. Badgers lead it. Conference hoops tonight on BTN. Gets better, rewriting the record books here in Wisconsin program history. Ethan Happ, already the program leader all time in rebounds, top 10 steals, blocks, points, and assists. 3 of the 4 weeks in the Big Ten this year, he has been the player of the week, the preseason All-American from Milan, Illinois.
Yeah, and I want Big Ten fans to understand how special he is. There's not a lot of players that affect the game in so many different facets, and not just touch other aspects, dominate, averaging 5.3 assists, averaging a double-double in points and rebounds. He's one of the special talents we have in college basketball.
Gives it up to a lean forward. Wisconsin by 4, answering a 10-point deficit. Bullet pass inside. Ford can't hit the layup. Good look by Iverson. And an empty possession for Wisconsin. Baker back on the floor for Rutgers, playing with 3 fouls. Baker had 9 points in his first 11 minutes tonight, has not scored since. Shaq Carter had that one blocked, or at least hit the bottom of the backboard. Trice to Iverson. Pass to the wing. Ford for 3. Great ball movement. A hockey assist for Trice. And the 3-pointer is good. Nice setup by Iverson.
You don't see the Badgers look to run often, but nice job of Iverson getting behind the defense and a lean forward, setting up in the corner pocket.
Biggest lead for the Badgers at 7 now. Carter looking inside. Omoruyi, nice catch and finish at the basket.
Boy, that's a good pass by Shaq Carter as well. Had to leave that just over the defense. Nice job.
Omoruyi, 8 points, averages 15 plus. He is their top scorer. Wisconsin's done a good job on Omoruyi. Here's Happ. And Happ, they go one-on-one with Carter, and Happ wins that battle. You could just see his patience, waiting to see if a double team was coming. When it didn't, he goes to work.
And he's seen almost every scenario you're going to see in college basketball in terms of what people are trying to do to him defensively. So he's learned to be patient.
Rutgers needs a big shot here. Something to quiet down this crowd. Mathis. He's been quiet tonight, the freshman. And now a foul on Omoruyi. Wisconsin ball. Omoruyi picks up his first foul. Tonight's State Farm assist of the game. This transition. The Badgers go Trice to Iverson to Ford for three.
Saw how the defense sucked in the paint that time when Iverson got behind the defense. An excellent eye vision there. Nice teamwork by the Badgers.
How about Wisconsin? No assist in the first half. They have 4 assists in this second half, averaging nearly 14 per game.
That's a nice adjustment by the Badgers. That indicates to me that Rutgers not giving any clean catch and shoot looks, making the Badgers put it on the deck.
Shot clock at 3. Here's Trice, rises up and knocks it down. Demetric Trice with a long 2. 9-point Wisconsin lead. 6 points for Trice. He's hit a couple of long 2s in this game. It is Wisconsin's biggest lead. They add to it. Now Baker shakes himself free. Kiss with an offensive board. Omoruyi on half. Yes.
Wow, he's fought through a lot of contact down there. Omoruyi is a grown man, ladies and gentlemen.
Such an impressive player and marked improvement this year from last for Omoruyi, the Canadian. He is a grinder. Here's Pretzel for 3. In and out, and a foul on Iverson going over the top of Omoruyi.
You can live with that shot by Pretzel. That was halfway down and popped out, but that's an indication of the confidence that Brevin's playing with right now, and he needs to continue to take those open opportunities.
So Trice will take a seat here with 8:34 left. Pretzel hit a key 3 against Iowa, gave him the lead late with 1:35 left. Can just see his confidence starting to rise a little bit. And even when he's not hitting his threes, performing well in other areas.
Well, he's sneaky athletic, so he could be an extraordinary defender if he really wants to.
Good pass into Dorson and wave off the basket. Foul prior to. Iverson picks up his second foul. 13 foul for Wisconsin. And Rutgers will have it. 20 on the shot clock.
They're going to isolate Omoruyi.
Baker, 2-man game. No room for a pass. Omoruyi's got Davison on him. Wow, tough shot, but he's fouled. Omoruyi just wasn't quite sure and picks up the foul. That was a gift of a call, a little bit of a bailout for Omoruyi. Drew the contact. Well done.
Yep, that law of verticality. It's hard when you're a defender to put your arm straight up. It's easier said than done.
Now there is an art to drawing fouls. Omoruyi has it, but unable to hit the free throw. Now when the action ends, the big show takes over. Highlights from around the conference, post-game reaction straight from the arena, and in-depth expert analysis. It's the big show, and it's after the game right here on BTN. Eugene Omoruyi, 1 out of 2 from the line, native of Rexdale, Ontario in Canada. International flair with this Rutgers roster. Omoruyi has 11, hit half of his shots. Reavers on the floor for Happ right now. Davison runs the point for Trice. Here's Reavers. Dorson on him. Reavers banging his way in. Over the 6'11 Dorson. No. Kiss with the board.
That was pretty good offense, but better defense by Dorson. Holding his ground. And you rarely see Rutgers foul guys that are shooting in the paint. They've got enough size to try to make you finish over the top.
Kiss. Little hesitation. Fires an air ball.
Yeah, in those situations, when you catch it, you don't have it cleanly, Just put it on the deck and try to get past your defender or give it up. Hey, Peter Kiss got a 40-inch vertical. I'd like to see him test that out towards the rim.
Shot clock at 7. Davison trying to shake Kiss. Cannot. Looking for help now. Shot clock at 2. Here's Pritzel with 1 on the timer. Kiss was right in front of Davison. Couldn't shake him. Omoruyi. One-on-one with Brad Davison. Little jump hook. No. And touch last by Ford. It'll be Rutgers ball. Timeout on the floor. Got a good one here tonight. Rutgers is going to give a lot of teams some grief this year. Steve Peichel's team is within 6. Men's basketball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. Got the Grateful Red rocking here tonight. Band is in good form. Football team headed for a bowl game. Disappointing year on the gridiron for the Badgers, but do have a bowl game in New York at Yankee Stadium. And it is basketball season now because this Badger team out 7-1. They have a lead. Rutgers with the ball. Omoruyi cannot hit out of the timeout, and it's 1 and done for Rutgers.
That was well scouted by Wisconsin. That was a play to get Omoruyi going to his right. Nate Reavers stopped in the lane. Excuse me, Ethan Happ stopped in the lane to keep him turning the corner.
Davison misses on the 3. Davison just in a transition season for Wisconsin. Last year had the ball in his hands a lot after Trice went down. Trice and Davison on the floor together right now. Here's Baker with Trice on him. Little turnaround jumper. No.
Well, Geo Baker gets in trouble sometimes. I think he takes really difficult shots in inopportune time.
Trice for 3. Big bucket for Wisconsin. Pushes the lead back to 9. Demetric Trice averaging 58% three-point shooting this year. Tops in the conference. He's made 29 three-pointers this year. So it's not only high volume, Stephen, but it is high efficiency as well.
Well, you can tell he's healthy because he's getting great elevation on his shot. 58%, as you mentioned, and 3.5 makes per game. That's outstanding and really forces the defense to space out a little bit. It can help create opportunities for others.
His three-point percentage is good enough for 3rd in the nation right now at 58%. And now with 29 made threes, 3rd most made threes, volume-wise, in the Big Ten Conference. Nice save, Iverson. Wisconsin a chance to go up double digits.
Tell you what, Khalil Iverson has really been steady this season. Hasn't scored the ball a lot, but his defense and rebounding has been stellar.
Inside to Trice with Baker on him. Trice had one dribble, planted Baker on the ground, and it was an easy layup. Nice look from Happ. Timeout, Rutgers. Biggest lead for the Badgers at 57-46. Well, the comeback kids this year, Wisconsin, remember they trailed by 12 against NC State here at the Kohl Center, a comeback win. And then Friday in Iowa City in a game that you called, Stephen, this was another opportunity for Wisconsin to show their wares. They got down 8 with 12.5 minutes left.
They did, and it sounded like the old Carver Hawkeye in that second half. And there was foul trouble, but Wisconsin never got rattled. That was the big three, along with Brevin Pritzel, the one that you referenced earlier, with about 1:25 left in that game. And Wisconsin showed a lot of grit and toughness on the road.
They were down double digits with 2:57 remaining in this first half. Went on a nice little run. They started the scoring in the second half. Scored 4 quick points and resulting in an early timeout. And for Rutgers to plow their way back. Wisconsin is a very difficult team to try to cover this much of a deficit with 4:44 left. And you figure Rutgers is going to have to hit some three-pointers here.
They may look at three-pointers, but in my opinion, where they've gotten in trouble, Brian, they stopped going in the paint. You know, they were matching the Badgers point for points in the paint about midway through the second half, and then they started going towards difficult shots.
Omoruyi and Baker, two-man game. Kiss is an excellent three-point shooter. Shaq Carter and Ron Harper Jr. on the floor for the Scarlet Knights. Here's Kiss, 4-3. They needed that one. Offensive board going up strong. Another chance for Rutgers. Harper gives it up. Kiss again over half. Yes, sir. Peter Kiss with a three. Davison shaken up.
That's a heck of an effort on the offensive glass. Oh, Davison's getting ready to have back spasms. He's reaching for that lower back. Well, some contact underneath. And you see Davison struggling to get up. Probably landed on that. Yeah, he's starting to spaz. Unfortunately, I know that look.
I'll tell you, Shaq Carter is having by far his best game in the Big Ten.
Oh,
having a stellar night. Here's Iverson looking to throw it down and is fouled. Iverson had bad intentions for this one.
Well, he doesn't need much space to lift off. And Shaq Carter was having none of it, but I like the challenge. I like Iverson with the thought process to dominate. And I like Carter for telling him, not here, not now.
Third foul on Carter. Iverson this year from the free throw line, 12 out of 15. First trip to the line here tonight. And it's in and out. Look, if Carter doesn't challenge there, Iverson throws that down. This place goes crazy. And suddenly, it's a situation here for Rutgers. How about that? Shaq Carter, 4 games, just 6 points, played a total of 14 minutes in 4 games prior to this one tonight. He's having a monster night. 9 points in 17 minutes, has 4 rebounds. He's calling for the ball down there with Happ on him as well. Here's Carter. Baker now, shot clock at 9. Baker fires a 3. Yes! And it's Kiss and Baker with back-to-back threes for Rutgers. Suddenly a 6-point game.
And that's the second time Peter Kiss has been hit with a pick. His teammates have to scream to him. You can tell I get hit with one of those back in the day, Brian.
And now Kiss called for the foul. 58-52. Rutgers not dead yet. 3:20 remaining. Wisconsin ball. Forward to the breakdown of John Crispin on the art of the flop. We have seen some flops here tonight. Wisconsin will have the ball. Peter Kiss fouling Ethan Happ. Now, we will tell you the officials did want to take a look at that last foul to see if there was a flagrant. Not the case. Just a common foul on Kiss. Kiss hit the deck a moment ago after a screen. Brad Davison hit the deck down in the paint. He's out. Looks like he's got some back spasms he's dealing with. And the out-of-bounds play, it is Happ on a perfect feed. And Wisconsin scores coming out of the timeout.
Well, Wisconsin is so precise coming out of timeouts and sideline and underneath out-of-bounds plays. 18
points for Ethan Happ, 4 boards. This is Harper, and 1. Ron Harper Jr., the freshman, a 4-star recruit. He'll go to the line.
Long arms, active body, good concentration off the glass. Stunned like his daddy going to the rim.
His dad, a 15-year NBA career. Part of 3 of those Chicago Bulls World Championship teams, and then had 2 World Championships with the Lakers. It was a stretch of 6 years. Ron Harper Sr. won 5 NBA titles, and his son performing in the Big Ten now at Rutgers. Davison back on the floor. Got a little heat on that back. The lean forward will sit. 60-55, 5-point game, 3 to go in regulation here in Madison. Rutgers giving Wisconsin all they want on the road tonight.
So you got to think Wisconsin looking to get Ethan Happ in a one-on-one situation here, right there.
Omoruyi is on him. Happ going to work, spins with the left hand. And the rebound pulled down by Shaquille Dorson. Big chance here for Rutgers.
That is great defense by Omoruyi.
Baker the pull-up. Pritzel the board and a foul. Omoruyi fouls Pritzel. That's his second foul.
I don't like that shot by Geo Baker. I thought they could have gotten a better shot opportunity that time. Again, they've hit threes, but they went away from going into the bucket. They were having success going to the paint.
Each team with 6 fouls now. The next one for either team will send the opponent to the free throw line. Approaching the 2-minute mark. Game number 2 of this Big Ten Conference schedule. Badgers by 5, trying to add. Davison, he looks a little hobbled since he's come back. Here's Happ now. Shot clock at 2. Happ's got to go. A little scoop is good. What a move by Ethan Happ.
He is so good at recognizing what the defense is giving him. Everybody had to stay home because Rutgers reluctant to give up the 3. Happ recognizes that, gets all the way to the rim.
20 points for Ethan Happ. Deflection, over and back, and now Iverson called for a foul. Now Wisconsin with 62 points on the board, Happ with 20.
You can see Peter Kiss wants to help, but he doesn't want to give up that 3-point shot. So he stays at home, and Happ, I'll tell you, man, that's Iceman-ish at the rim.
Ethan Happ is approaching a milestone number in the Big Ten. 2 numbers, as a matter of fact, 2,000 and 1,000. So he's about 300 points away from 2,000 career points. He is about 30 or so rebounds away from 1,000 rebounds. You realize only 3 other Big Ten players in the history of this storied conference have achieved 2,000, 1,000. And it hasn't happened in 40 years. Greg Kelser, Michigan State, Joe Barry Carroll, Herb Williams, the only 3 players to get to the 2K, 1K.
I mean, that's supreme company right there. You said Greg Kelser, national champion, Joe Barry Carroll, All-American, Herb Williams, like 22 years in the NBA. So it bodes well for Ethan Happ.
What a career it has been. 25th career 20-point game tonight for Ethan Happ.
And you know, it hasn't always been easy. I mean, he was really having to work against the front line of Rutgers. And what you'll notice in this package is that he's doing this against 4 to 5 different defenders. And yet he's still able to figure it out regardless of who's checking him.
He is our Duluth Trading hardest working player. 20 points, 4 rebounds on 10 of 17 shooting for those 20 for Ethan Happ. 1:37 remaining. Wisconsin up 62-57. Rutgers coming off the timeout. Rutgers has used their last timeout.
I'd expect a double team or something here. Maybe to try to force a turnover.
Wisconsin trying to ice it here. And Omoruyi just grabbing Ethan Happ. He'll pick up his 3rd foul. Not sure that's such a bad thought here. I mean, you've heard of the hack-a-shack. There is a hack-a-hap in play for some teams. Checking here to see if this is a flagrant now, but putting Happ on the line right now is not a bad position to be in if you're Rutgers.
You look at Omoruyi right there. He's, the hook and grab. Watch. If you see Omoruyi's right hand, look at he's hooking Happ right there. They're going to get him for that. I'd be surprised if Terry Oglesby, Chris Beaver, and Eric Curry don't catch this.
That seems pretty textbook here. This is a new rule, new emphasis this year. Kind of falls under the player safety rule, where the hook and hold is now a flagrant one. That means 2 shots in the ball. This could be the game right here.
I agree. And Greg Gard was calling, saying it was an intentional foul. But I think that the hook and grab is going to be what may result in a flagrant one.
Well, you think about what happened to Isaac Haas in the NCAA tournament, the injury there. Now, this is an off year for rules changes. So rules changes in the NCAA happen every other year. So this is a year where they can't institute rules changes to the letter of the law, except for player safety falls under that code. So that's why officials have been tasked with calling these hook and holds all year long. And I think it's been a major topic of discussion. They're calling it, and you've seen so many games already, they are calling it as tight as they can. These officials have to make these calls because it goes on their grades to determine whether they get an NCAA tournament bid or not to officiate.
Yeah, and it's awfully tough for officials to kind of regulate this stuff. I'm not a big fan of these rules changes. I don't think the game is required to have that kind of scrutiny.
Eric Curry is over for an explanation. And it looks like it will be a flagrant one.
Yep, hook and hold. Eric Curry comes over and tells us, but again, that's, I don't know. I'm going to keep my mouth shut, B.A.
Well, look here. Here's the bottom line, right? If you're a coach, and I've heard a number of coaches say this, so this will be 2 shots in the ball for Wisconsin. If you're a coach right now and you're a month into this season, you know this is going to be called. You have to make an adjustment, even though it doesn't feel like what would be the rhythm of any kind of game you've ever played.
That's my point.
But that you have to make an adjustment.
You do have to make an adjustment, but Brian, that's my point. They're calling things that guys are taught to do growing up. So now that you get to the college level this particular season, you have to go away from some of the things that you were taught to do as a player. That's awfully difficult.
Minute 19 left. Happ unable to connect on either of the free throws. Maybe more importantly for Wisconsin, though, they get the ball and can work the clock as we approach the 1-minute mark. Wisconsin is 2 for 8 from the free throw line tonight. Happ's missed all 3 of his tries. Rutgers not fouling here. And here is Trice, and that is a game breaker right there. Demetric Trice again. How clutch has he been this year? He had a put-away 3 Friday in Iowa City.
Exact same spot as well.
Omarui answers on the other end. Time is running short for Rutgers, down 6. Long pass, Pritzl. And now you're going to have to foul. Mathis will put Pritzl to the line. He was an excellent free throw shooter. Demetric Trice, he is doing something special this year. And this 2 for 2 from behind the arc tonight.
This is his spot on the floor. He hit the same shot at Iowa. He hit similar shot against NC State to bring them back. So, you trying to stop Demetric Trice. You don't want him to get to that right wing because he's money.
And Pritzl has now made 12 of his 13 free throws this season. As good as it gets from the free throw line. Demetric Trice, boy, what a year. This is a guy who averaged 9.4 points a game last season, missed a significant chunk of the season with foot surgery, and up over 17 per game this year. And when he's making his shots, and he's making them at a very high clip right now, everything opens up for the Badgers. Don't forget, tomorrow on BTN, a doubleheader of hoops coming your way. Romeo Langford and the Hoosiers battle Penn State. And then it's Michigan heading to Evanston for a conference clash with Northwestern. Big Ten basketball tomorrow right here on BTN and the Fox Sports app. How about Michigan State tonight? A 90-68 win over the Iowa Hawkeyes.
So that defense of Iowa that was supposed to be improved took a step back tonight against Michigan State. You mentioned this, though, Brian. That's a good point. You know, I'm sure Michigan State wasn't quite pleased with their performance against Rutgers. You knew they would bounce back, and they did in big fashion.
Now, Michigan State beat Rutgers 78-67 Friday, but Rutgers was in there for 3/4 of that game. Time running out. Got to get a shot up. Harper will pull a three. And Chom with the offensive board gives him another shot. Baker, long three. And Trice rips down the board. Shot clock is off. Free throws coming. And Wisconsin poised to put this one away.
Well, Rutgers going to be frustrated with this one, Brian, because they had opportunities. You know, but you've got to start and finish the halves in impressive fashion. Wisconsin did just that. Got some momentum going down the stretch of the first half. Came out quick 4 points by Khalil Iverson, and they've been off and running since.
Trice unable to hit it. Well, Baker had 9 first-half points and hits the three here. 6 points in the second half for Baker, just not enough from one of their best scorers. And a baseball pass. Happ runs it down. And Fritzl will head back to the line. I tell you, Ethan Happ, I mean, you run out of superlatives with this guy.
You do. I mean, he took off like a sprinter, was able to keep that ball in bounds. I mean, that's not going to show up on the stat sheet, but, well, that was supreme effort right there.
So Fritzl back on the line. Has a chance to make it a 3-possession game. Calmly knocks down the first free throw. Brad Davison hit some clutch free throws against Iowa. Fritzl, an outstanding free throw shooter in his own right. A chance to put this one away. And a 3-possession game with 9.4 remaining. Rutgers had a double-digit lead late in the first half. Wisconsin came to life. Badgers making 5 of their last field goal attempts to close it out and 4 of their last 5 free throw attempts. And they're going to walk away here with a 2-0 record in this first wave of conference games. And to 8-1 go the Wisconsin Badgers. That takes us to the end. And the Badgers take down Rutgers. A home win for Greg Gard. Wisconsin with now 5 big wins against high-level opponents. And, of course, their second consecutive win in conference play. And now they will go into this window between the second wave of conference games with a 2-0 record. Good showing by Rutgers on the road. They'll drop to 5-3. Losses to Michigan State and Wisconsin in their first 2 conference games. It's been a rough 6 days here for Rutgers with travel and opponents. They did have a nice win against Miami on the road last Wednesday. Team to watch out for this year in the Big Ten, the Scarlet Knights. And Stephen Barno standing by with Wisconsin head coach Greg Gard. Take it away, Stephen.
Greg, what did you tell your team at the end of the first half and the beginning of the second half? Because that's where you seem to make hay.
Well, we need to do a better job defensively. I mean, it was a layup contest there for a while in the first half for them, and we did a better job of stopping the ball from getting to the rim, and obviously made some shots too, and were able to catch them. And we got a spark from Iverson at the start of the second half, but defensively, for the most part, we were better in the second half.
You know, and Rutgers is not Rutgers of old. They seem to be a lot more talented. What were the adjustments that you made to slow them down? Because they had a double-digit lead in the first half.
Yeah, well, we needed to do a better job of stopping the ball. You know, too many times the ball got downhill on us, and we looked at some tape at halftime and found out, you know, made the adjustments and talked about it. Did a better job in the second half.
Your team doesn't seem to flinch. You've had a gauntlet of a schedule thus far. How would you grade your team out?
Well, we've had a lot here in a short period of time, so it's going to be good just to be able to have a normal day off, and they can get back and we can regroup a little bit and get ready to go through the rest of the non-conference.
All right, well, Coach, congratulations on the victory.
All right, thanks, Steve.
All right, back to you, B.A.
All right, Stephen, thank you. And our thanks to Greg Gard. His team puts 43 on the board in the second half, outscore Rutgers by 17 points in the second half. That'll do it from the Kohl Center. Wisconsin gets the win. Don't forget, coming up next on BTN, it's The Big Show with Rick, John, and Mike. They'll recap tonight, look ahead to the week of Big Ten Conference play. For Stephen Bardo and our entire crew, Brian Anderson saying so long from Madison. Badgers win.